when you're renovating, because it may be cheaper, it may be easier on your pockets, a little bit lighter. You may be getting a lot more for that bang for your buck, but there's going to be a lot of things that are not going to be right at the end. So I've learned that I'd rather pay a little bit more to get the things done correctly than to pay thousands of dollars less and get it half-assed done. So, but at the same time, the plus is as they're renovating everything in my house, I tore down walls, I put new walls, I put lighting fixtures. I am looking at the people. I'm this type of person. I'm looking at the people to learn it and never call them again and do it myself. So now I become a plumber, an electrician, everything, right? So you're learning as you go, right? So, absolutely. But with my baby, which is the garage, I converted into a podcast / gym space. Man, that's the jewel. That's the jewel of the house.
Right. How long did it take?
So, mind you, I bought the house. The garage was like bones. It was like no walls. It was just like, the wood sticks and all that stuff. It was just empty. So at first we utilized it for like storage, but then the bright idea came to create the podcast space there. It took about like 3 weeks to complete it in total for the people to come and complete it.
Yeah.
The same people that did the adjustments around my house that I will not contact again.
Yeah.
I contacted them for that project, which was in a smaller space away from the house. They could make their mess, they do whatever they need to do there. But it just and I have a before and after video coming out soon of that. But you'll see the beauty in transforming that space. So one thing I'll say is cheaper isn't always the best, but I've made a lot of adjustments in the house. I've completely gutted and renovated the kitchen, the backyard. I did some adjustments there too. It's costly. It becomes a cost effect situation, but just be mindful because in this whole process, you may be spiking your taxes up as you're making renovations and you don't know on the back end. So these are things that, you just want to be aware of. In a sense. So if it's not your forever home, don't do too much, right? Do some adjustments, do what you need. And if you have in mind to get that forever home in the future, then it'll come with those things and those amenities that you already needed in place.
Yeah.
Or you could go all out with the first home, even if you're going to sell at some point, but just know you're getting your bang for your buck. You're getting all that money back. So make all the renovations you want at that point. Yeah. It's a catch-22.
Were there any specific renovations that you made that you feel affected the property taxes?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, because I was about to do an in-ground pool, and then I found out all the
requirements,
the tax increase adjustments and all that previous, and I did some research and spoke to some people that already had some homes and did my analysis and that. And like you could typically, you could probably fly under the radar in certain cases, but in certain things you cannot fly under the radar.
Yeah.
And just let's say creating that in-ground pool would have not only increased my taxes, the insurance on that would have gone up because it's a high risk. So these are just minor things. So I didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
I kept the above ground pool with less than 3,000 gallons, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's under code, whatever. But the thing is that I didn't go to the extreme. To answer your question, I didn't go to the extreme of affecting the taxes in any way. Did I create, the front of the house, I did some adjustments. Like I put like stone instead of like, what are the panels called?
Like the vinyl?
The vinyl. I did that a little bit. I took the gated, the Queen's gate. I like to call it the Queen's gate because in the Queens you have these gates with like holes.
Yeah.
They hit you in the hip or something. Yeah. I changed that. I put the 6-foot wall around the house with the gate. So those are minor things that there's costs attached to it, but they didn't really do anything to the taxes.
I feel like this is so valuable too because one thing that we talk about a lot is that cost does not equal value.
Oh yeah.
So if let's say you upgrade the kitchen, but you go all out and spend, thousands on the stove, that doesn't mean that the next buyer is going to care for that stove and pay a premium for it, right? But generally speaking, if you renovate a kitchen and maybe you don't go all out with appliances or certain finishes, but you just renovate it nice to where it's appealing, people will pay a premium for that. Yeah. Same thing with the exterior. By changing the fence, by changing the siding, you're improving the curb appeal, which again makes it more appealing to more people and can drive up the value. The pool, however, increase in price. It'll increase
Everything.
your monthly expenses,
Everything.
like your insurance, like you mentioned, your property taxes. But there's no guarantee that there's going to be a huge huge demand,
Right.
or a huge percentage of the local demand in Massapequa is going to want a pool. There's no guarantee that
Right.
people are going to necessarily want it. So therefore, you better be doing that for yourself, not
100%.
because you want to get like a return on investment. So I love that too.
100%. And what I will add to that is, let's say your neighbors start to make big adjustments to their properties.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately going to affect your taxes as well. So keep that in mind as well. You learn as you go. So if your neighbors start to prop up and make super adjustments to their properties, the overall area starts to pick up on the pricing of the value of the location. So just keep that in mind as well. These are things that you don't know going in, you learn as you go, but now that you've learned it, let's say, for example, now you have that information as well. So just be mindful of that.
Thank you for sharing that. I have one more question about the space,
Yeah,
about
what's
about the garage, and then I want to talk about the podcast too,
Okay.
because I feel like that's so cool what you have going on.
Cool.
In the end, after the renovation for the garage specifically, do you feel like it met your expectations, it exceeded your expectations, or it fell below your expectations? When the whole project was complete, how did you like ultimately feel about it?
Like, we're talking about the garage or the podcast in a sense?
The garage, just
The
the
garage.
garage renovation, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It met my expectations. Actually, it blew my expectations away.